going to call the May 19, 2016 Daviess County Fiscal Court meeting to order. Commissioner Conveyor, would you lead us in a prayer and a pledge?
Bow your heads, please. Our Heavenly Father, please watch over our community, the homeless, and those who are in the hospital for a speedy recovery. Protect us from all harm. We humbly thank you for all the gifts we receive from you. We ask that you watch over all those who protect us, especially those men and women who serve in our armed forces, law enforcement, fire department, and emergency services. We ask for wisdom and understanding and courage to make right decisions for all of our citizens. We ask all these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner, and once again I want to welcome everyone to our May 19, 2016 Daviess County Fiscal Court meeting. Jenny, are you ready?
Yes, sir. Item 1, consideration for presentation A, DC CAP, annual update by Suzanne Craig.
Suzanne, if you'll come up, welcome to Fiscal Court, and I hope that you're going to tell us why it's so important that we continue to fund DC CAPs and what benefit the community gets from it.
Yes, thank you very much. I really appreciate your all's time and having me today. Just as a friendly reminder that the Community Access Project is a program that helps people who are underinsured, uninsured, and who have problems getting medication and coverage for their important prescriptions. And so I'm happy to well, first I want to let you know that still 8% of our population are people that are still uninsured and that are struggling to buy medicines like insulin and medicines for their hypertension and MS and a broad range of medications that they need to survive. And so medication is a big access to care problem. And so one of the first things that we do is that if someone comes to us and tells us that they're uninsured, is that we try to help them sign up for Medicaid and insurance. So we've helped almost 3,000 individuals do that because that makes most sense, to utilize the services that are going to help sustain them long term. And so we've been able to do 2,795 applications for those individuals. But if you look at the prescriptions and donated care, that we've been able to help more than $2 million, like $1.9 million in prescriptions and another $12,000 in donated services. These are individuals that would have nowhere else to go but the emergency room. So it's a quality of life issue. And these aren't people taking advantage of a system. These are individuals in many cases that are hardworking citizens that no fault of their own, they get cancer or MS or some chronic disease that almost bankrupts them. And so if you look at, just to demonstrate a big picture of what we've been able to do with your all's support and the community support, is we've been able to coordinate little more than $30 million worth of prescriptions. So we take that business seriously, that how we're impacting this community and what kind of difference that makes. We're lucky about, I would say a week does not go by without a patient sending us a thank you letter talking about what difference it made in their life. And so you all don't get the luxury of meeting all of these people, although I'm sure you meet many in your community. But they say they don't know what they would do, that they were really at the point where they were not taking their insulin or they're not taking their medicine. And so we were able to get that for them. And so we have figured on average for every person that walks through our door, on average we're able to, for them to get a little more than $2,600 worth of donated care or prescriptions. And so if you look at a return on investment, for every dollar that comes into our program, we're able to return $28.88 back to the community. And so the hard work that's being done, not just by myself, but really I have staff that really work around the clock with always coming up with new ideas to reach more people. And so I champion and applaud their effort in terms of even going out to shelters, going out to in the community, everywhere they can to try to help individuals so they don't have obstacles. And so I thank you all again for your support and what you do and caring about the health of our community and the well-being of our community. I'm open for any questions, and thank you.
Suzanne, just a quick notice, since 2005, fiscal court's put approximately $275,000 into the program, and it's resulted in $30.5 million in donated care and prescriptions. That's a phenomenal return. The $25,000 that we have put into the program in 2015, 2016 resulted in about $725,000 worth of care. The thing that I would ask, and I'm happy to see that you also are providing those citizens who show up with no insurance with help in signing up for Medicaid or the Affordable Care Act. However, explain to me why there seems to have been a considerable drop in donated medical care, but an increase in donated prescriptions.
Well, because our first line of defense is to that the hospitals even identify people who don't have insurance, the shelters, and they send them to us, and they say,
Okay.
can you sign them up?
Yeah, okay.
And so we're able to do intensive case management and try to get them signed up for insurance or Medicaid just right off the bat before we do anything else. And then we work towards other programs. So it makes most sense to try to get them that insurance coverage before we ask for a handout from the medical community. And so that's the approach that we...
Therefore, as you've gotten them signed up, there's been less need for donated medical care, but prescriptions are another
Right.
or another issue. Commissioners, any question or comment? Yes, sir.
You mentioned your staff. How many full-time and part-time staff do you have?
That I have 3 full-time staff and 1 volunteer that volunteers about 20 hours a week, and then myself. So it's a small crew, but they do pretty hard work. And they're just bright people, and I think you almost have to have a mission. You have to kind of get public health to be at the health department, and they get the mission. And so I never really have to ask twice about are they doing their best to reach everyone that they can.
Right.
Really on a daily basis, they come with new ideas and say, you know, we can do this to reach this population. And so
The other question and thank you for that. The other question I'm curious about is you say 8% of our population is uninsured. Why would that be with the new rules for Medicaid and obviously if you're permanently disabled after some time you're on Medicare? So why would it be that we still have 8% that's not insured?
And that's a good question. There are a few different factors. One factor is that some people feel like that they don't have money to purchase the insurance. They don't qualify for Medicaid, but they qualify for an insurance policy, and they still feel like they don't have enough money. Some people don't have the legal status to apply. You have to be a citizen or be here lawfully present for a number of years. Some people get stuck in the system for a short period of time where they're in a pending status with Medicaid or insurance, and they may not have coverage. They may lose their job and go apply like they should, but they get in a stuck status for 60 days, and you know, Murphy's Law, that people get sick even with coverage or no coverage. And so then they find themselves in a real dire situation. So there's all kinds of reasons. In a perfect world, I would love for everyone to have access to insurance and everyone to have access to their prescriptions. But that's not the case right now, even with it being offered.
I think, too, one of the things that folks forget, even though it's offered and it's available, there are some out there who they don't want it emotionally, mentally, they're not able to take it. You have a large homeless population where they're just thinking about day-to-day, getting by day-to-day, and that's why I was glad to hear that you work with the homeless shelters trying to get those folks signed up as well. Yes, sir.
I just wanted to, so if we know of someone, or if someone wants to get help from, how do we direct them?
You could tell them simply to go to the health department, but they can also call our number
Okay.
at the area code 270-852-2904. And they can, mostly we understand the obstacles in transportation, so we try to deal with the public in a walk-in basis, but appointments are always better, but we try to serve whoever comes to our window.
Okay.
Would you give that number again?
It's area code 270-852-2904.
Okay.
And we tell the community that don't worry about sending somebody who you think is a bad referral or that they may not qualify for the program, that we try to leave everyone better than the way we found them. And so we can connect them with some service, some resource, something that's going to make their life better. So all referrals are welcome.
Yes,
I'd
sir.
just like to say to thank you and your staff and to pass that along. We appreciate all that you're doing. And it's all about saving lives, and that's the bottom line. If they can't get the prescription drugs, like you said, the insulin and all, then they won't be here. So thank you again very much.
Thank you.
I think that Suzanne will tell you that we have roughly 4 health department meetings a year, and when we talk about DC caps, I think there's always if Daviess County will participate again, and this is one of those not-for-profit social donations or funding efforts that we do, that I'm always proud to say you won't have any trouble because this court supports your efforts 100% in what you do for our community. So
Thank
you very much. That was a little more than 5 minutes, so get out. Thank you, Suzanne.
Thank you.
Item 2, consideration for approval, A, minutes of the May 5th, 2016 court meeting.
Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Commissioners, you've all had a copy of the minutes in your packet for some time. Any additions, deletions, or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Suzanne, don't feel like you've got to stay. You certainly can go. Next item, Jenny.
B, all claims for all departments.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion second. Again, Commissioners, you've all had a copy of the bills due and payable by Daviess County Fiscal Court. Any question of the treasurer at this time? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
C, Daviess County Fiscal Court wage schedule for fiscal year 16-17.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion second. Mr. Treasurer, will you tell us why we have to do this every year?
It's required by the State Audit Office that the wages must be approved by the court. So this is the thing that the court does annually. It approves the schedule. The schedule has any changes incorporated into it that we knew about as of today. It is also effective July 1 for the new fiscal year. It reflects the COLA of 1.5% in the salaries as is in the first reading of the budget. I have received approval from the state this week as to form and classification of that budget. Therefore, I will bring the budget to the court for second reading. On June the 2nd, we didn't get the approval back in time to advertise for tonight's meeting, so second reading of that budget will be June the 2nd. Assuming that it's approved, this will be good. If it's not, if you change the COLA for some reason, we will come back with a new schedule. The only other change I have is in number 8. Currently, there's going to be a retirement later in the agenda that his title was building supervisor. I've been requested to add a title that we would call building and grounds technician. It would be at the same pay in that number 8 grade, but it will be a slightly altered job description, and the title is more reflective because that person doesn't have anybody working for them. So I'll just give a new schedule to Jenny reflecting that change. I request your approval.
Question or comment by the commission? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
D, Resolution 816, establishing a street lighting district in Honeysuckle Estates.
Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion and second. Commissioners, from time to time, and I don't know who on staff is prepared, but from time to time, we are requested by subdivisions to establish these street lighting districts, and what we do is establish a district, then they take the cost of the streetlights and the electricity, prorated to each of the property, and I believe it's put on the property tax bill. So this is a request by Jared Martin, who is the authorized agent of Honeysuckle Estates, to establish a street lighting district. Any question or comment? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
E, lease agreement with Franklin Rock and Recycle for Radial Stacking Conveyor Landfill.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion second. Mr. Smith, or you want to talk to us about this, or do we need to have Jordan? You, Mr. Smith, that's,
I suppose so.
okay. First, tell us why. Why do we need it?
It will be much more efficient to try to sort out the soil that we need in the landfill construction. Remember, we're expanding by 10 acres, and I believe there's 2 feet of soil that we have to put down. And as you all recall, last year we bought a new screen. It works great, but as you know, as the material comes off the screen, it stacks up pretty quick right next to the screen, and we have to move it out. Renting this piece, we will only rent it, we estimate, for 2 months. Will allow us to be much more efficient, and will take it further away and allow larger piles to be made.
So we could have bought this as an attachment to the Trammell screen that we purchased, but since we're only going to use it for a couple months and we won't build another cell for several years, it makes more sense to rent it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Question or comment by the commission? Question or comment by the public? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Before we go further, how much are we paying for that on a monthly basis? $3,500? $3,500?
35 a month.
Right, $3,500 per month, and I think this is for a maximum of 3 months.
Yes,
And
so
it's-
that's the longest that we could imagine, because actually by the 3rd month, we're supposed to already have the liner being laid,
Right.
so.
Okay, I just wanted to get that out so people knew it. Okay, next item, Jenny.
F, fireworks contract with West Davis County Fire Department for the July 3rd celebration.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion second. Mr. Lee, you want to tell us why, after we give them $200,000 fire truck, for a fire truck, they're gonna charge us for fireworks?
Well, Judge, we brought to you a contract tonight to be able to hire a contract with a display operator who is licensed, obtained the necessary state permits, and insured for our event at Panther Creek Park on July 3rd. As you're aware, Independence Bank has contributed $3,500. This would put the court at a cost of $5,000 along with that to be able to do our show. We are excited to be able to be back at Panther Creek Park. Again, with this agreement, there is no labor costs. This is pure product. In years past, we have had other companies to be able to do fireworks where there is labor costs involved, so you don't get as much bang for your buck. Very excited to be able to have the fire department on board with us to be able to do this for not only the show, but also the safety.
So what we're doing is we're paying for the product that's gonna be thrown into the air.
Yes, sir.
And the fire department, are they going to act as the agent, the licensed agent, or are they going to hire an agent?
They have a firefighter who is
Okay.
licensed.
Okay.
And Judge, if I may I clarify West Davis County as being Sargo Airport Fire Department?
Yes, okay. Any question or comment by the commission? Question or comment by the public? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
G, movie projection, screen, and audio equipment contract with Premier Mobile Cinema for the July 3rd celebration.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion second. Ross, what movie are they gonna show?
Minions, Judge. This will be at about 9:30 that night, and essentially provides for some entertainment as those who are wanting to be able to get home are able to do so. Obviously, you know, the infrastructure getting to Panther Creek Park is a standard 2-lane road, and a couple of years back decided to be able to offer something for them to be able to do. Again, it's a family-friendly opportunity movie, and would Entertain approval, please.
Estimate for me the number of people that watch fireworks who stay and watch the movie if the weather is good.
500 to 1,000 people.
Okay, that's not bad.
Right.
As a side note, have you worked out parking?
We have, Commissioner Wathen and I was talking about that before the court. Rod Kegel, local farmer, his family has bought property adjacent to Panther Creek Park. He has that in Wheat now. I've offered to be able to compensate him for that. He is thrilled to provide that to the court at no cost. And so we will be able to essentially more than double the existing parking on the park side of Wayne Bridge Road. So it's a very easy way to get them in, get them out, and excited to be able to have that opportunity this year.
Would you make sure that you send a special invitation to the city mayor and city commissioners as well as all of our legislative delegation to Frankfurt?
Certainly.
County engineer, is that bridge open yet? I can't hear you.
Kinda, sorta.
I believe the bridge itself was finished up yesterday. They put up the guardrail yesterday morning. We have reclosed it to do some work on the approach roads to it.
Okay.
I think Parks Department is wanting to put down some fresh asphalt also. That area of the road was deteriorating before the bridge went down, and of course the construction made it worse. So we're going to hopefully get that up in good condition before the 4th of July celebration.
So everything will be ready for a great crowd and a great night,
Yes,
correct?
sir, without a doubt.
Great, yes, sir.
Night.
I just want to mention that I've had a lot of people say they really enjoy this and they're going to be glad this is going to be back.
Yes.
So I'm really anticipating that we'll need to use all of Rod Kegel's parking. So it's going to be a big show and a lot of fun.
Any other comment or question? Question or comment by the public? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Ross.
H, business associate agreement and contract with the Green River District Health Department for hepatitis B, TB, and rabies exposure vaccinations.
Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion second. Who is prepared to do this, or am I going to do it myself? You can do it. Go ahead then.
This is a contract that we ask the court to approve annually, and it takes care of the administration of the vaccinations for the items that Jenny read in the agenda. Obviously, we have employees who are exposed to certain substances, and they must keep their vaccinations up, so I request approval.
Many of these are required as our responsibility as employers by OSHA or KOSHA or some other agency. Any question or comment? Question or comment by the public? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Jenny, could we skip the next one?
Yes.
Well, maybe you would have put it up there.
I, Advertise, bid number 2016, a new 1617 SUV for engineering department.
Move to approve.
Second.
Mike, didn't I tell you not to second that thing? All right, we've got a motion and a second.
It's my job.
Any question or comment by the commission?
I got a question. I've ridden in that old truck of his, and it's way due for replacement.
Oh, there's the East Davis County Commissioner wanting more money up in his district, isn't that right?
Well, not necessarily. I mean, he is so effective. He's effective when we call him, so it's very important that he gets to where he needs to go.
Well, I was hoping that the vehicle would just rust to the ground, and then when we would go out, he would go out with me, I would get to drive.
It's
No.
just about that way, isn't it?
You know, I haven't noticed any rust on it at all.
Commissioner Wathen says, well, never mind what he's going to say. Any serious question or comment? This is in our budget, isn't it, Mr. Treasurer? Not you, Mark, because you'd have put it in there a long time ago. This is about the 5th year that he's requested one, I think.
It's in the new fiscal year budget, and all this is a request to advertise.
Right.
We will not purchase
Purchase.
before July 1.
Jordan, will this be on the state bid list? Oh, well, they do not provide vehicles with all the bells and whistles that he's asked for, do they? Okay. All right, if there are no other questions or question or comment by the public, where is the public when you need them? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Mark, I want to be the first to drive it. Next item, Jenny.
J, hire Brenton Smith as a seasonal grounds maintenance employee at Yellow Creek Park effective upon successful completion of pre-employment screenings.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion second. This is, Ross, I'm going to make an assumption this is a replacement for one that we lost as we continue to go through that annual, rehire. Any question or comment by the commission? It's not an additional employee, it's just a replacement. There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
K, hire Cooper Howard as a seasonal laborer in the Department of Public Works effective upon successful completion of pre-employment screenings.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion second, same question to you, Mark. It's a replacement of one that we had, it's not an additional employee. Any question or comment, commissioners? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
L, accept the retirement resignation of David Smith, courthouse maintenance effective May 27th.
Motion approved.
You said David Smith.
Oh, David Harris.
Okay, let's start that one over.
All right, accept the retirement resignation of David Harris, courthouse maintenance effective May 27th, 2016.
Motion approved.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion.
Freudian slip.
Oh, all right. Oh, you and David will have to work that out. I think I heard the bus backing up though, David. I have a motion second. Let me say this, David Harris has proven to be a valuable employee to Daviess County Fiscal Court, particularly here at the courthouse. I'll never forget, we used to send pumps off and have them rebuilt, and I'm thinking between $4,000 and $6,000 was the cost that we paid. David came to us, somebody brought me a pump request to have it rebuilt, so I go down and look at it and I said, well, all it needs is a seal. I looked at David and I said, can you replace the seal? And he said, yeah, no problem. So we bought the seal for $40 and David replaced it. That's a valuable employee because he saves the citizens of Daviess County money. And he did that the whole time that he was here. So David, we're gonna miss you, but we understand that your wife was gonna retire and you didn't want her to retire and have to sit at home alone. We expect she'll send you back to us within the next 3 months. Any question or comment, commissioners? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
M, advertise for the position of courthouse maintenance if not filled internally.
Move to approve.
Second.
Commissioners, this is advertising only. This is for a person to replace, to take the place of David. We don't want to say take the place, you can't do that, but take the position of courthouse maintenance. We will advertise it internally first, is that correct, Denny? And if no one applies for the job, then we will advertise it externally. Any question or comment? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
Item 3, consideration for appointment A, Christina O'Brien to the Southeast Daviess County Water District Board, term 6/1/16 to 6/1/2020.
Motion approved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Commissioners, as you know, Christina O'Brien was appointed by former Commissioner Jim Lambert. She served us extremely well, served the Water Board extremely well, and I appreciate that service, and I appreciate her willingness to serve another term. While I'm at it, I might make the statement that we lost an excellent board member in Joe Elliott. Not only was he a big advocate for the water board, potable water systems throughout the county, he was a very good citizen in this community. Any question or comment about Christina? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
B, Jerry Fisher to the Daviess County Drainage Commission, serving terms 6/2/16 to 6/2/2020.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion second. Commissioners, as you recall, Jerry was one of the originals that was appointed to our Drainage Commission. We're in the process of doing our study. I think Jerry was one of those had a staggered term of 1 year. Typically, we don't particularly like to appoint people for more than 2 terms, but in this case, it was such a short term, and Jerry is the chair of that board as well as is in the middle of that study. And I know he calls Mark to pull all his hair out, and that's evidenced by him sitting over there. Jerry, you've done a good job. We appreciate your service. We appreciate his willingness. And Commissioner, I think he represents the West District. Isn't that one of the folks that you appointed?
Yes,
Okay.
and I agree, he does a good job, and he is the chairman, and we need him to continue for a while.
Okay. Any other question or comment? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
4, consideration for discussion, A, other business to be brought before the Daviess County Fiscal Court.
And woe unto him or her.
I do not have any.
All right.
B, public comments.
This is the time during which we ask the public to come to the podium, identify themselves, and they're welcome to speak on any item other than what was on the agenda. I think Mr. Public has walked out because he received a phone call. If he comes back and wants to speak, we'll give him that opportunity. Next item.
C, comments by Daviess Fiscal Court.
Commissioner Colger.
No comment, Judge.
Commissioner Wathen.
No comment. I have a softball game to go to tonight.
Okay, Commissioner Caslen.
No comment.
Just a couple. We have the police memorial this evening at Owensboro Christian Church. Starts at 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. I want to tell you, folks, if you've never had the opportunity to attend one of those and you just finished supper and you're wondering what can I do, I would encourage you to attend because it's a very moving service. I also want to remind everybody that this is our last meeting before Memorial Day. There are many Memorial Day services starting on Friday. Usually the first one, Charlie, the first one's there on 5th Street, the little Revolutionary War.
Mosley Cemetery.
Mosley Cemetery. That usually kicks it off. And then we have one at Greenwood Cemetery. I think it's 10:30.
I think 10
Saturday,
o'clock.
Saturday morning.
Saturday morning.
10 o'clock Saturday morning, which is really a nice ceremony. Memorial Gardens holds probably one of the most moving ceremonies that evening. Sunday is the American Legion holds one at Rose Hill Cemetery around 1 o'clock, I think.
1 o'clock, I believe.
And these will all be in the newspaper, I'm sure. There is one typically held at Utica Baptist Church, out on 140 West.
Right.
You turn right and go to the top of the hill, and it's on the right. And then there's typically one held at the Sports Center. The Veterans Affairs typically holds that. I don't know if they're going to hold it this year. I suspect they will.
They are.
I think the city holds one themselves down at the Shelton Memorial, and following the one at the Sports Center is the VFW typically lays a wreath there
Right.
in the river. So there are plenty of opportunities. If you get the chance, get out and celebrate Memorial Day. And remember that Memorial Day is about those who have passed away, not only military veterans, but also family members, as well as it's a way to honor the living folks who have served time in the military and really have gone and fought and given us the right to vote and speak freely our minds in public. Any other comment? James Lacey came off, you walked out when we had public comment. I would give you the opportunity. Okay, thank you for that, being nice. Commissioners, we need to enter into a closed session per KRS 61.8101F to have discussions or hearings which might lead to the appointment, discipline, or dismissal of an individual employee without restricting that employee's right to a public hearing if requested. The exception shall not be interpreted to permit discussion of general personnel matters in secret. Do I hear a motion?
So move.
I have a motion.
Second.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and second to go into closed session. Commissioner Watson, you had a comment?
Do I need to mention the fact that I'm not gonna be able to attend that?
It's up to you. We,
Okay, Claude, if I'm.
Yes, that's fine.
We-
And the
we will
other is
have a
just that
majority
We will
of-
not be returning into open session.
and that's correct. We will not return into open session and
There will be no action taken.
no action taken this evening. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right.